Okay. Okay, so let's just first start. We're going to start with the upside down toe hold.
Okay.
Let me first just show what basic toe hold looks like. So just lay back for me like an open guard. So toe hold is one of the leg locks where you're going to be turning away from your opponent most of the time. So if I was going for a toe hold here, I'd be turning away from him. So same side, grab around the knuckles of their foot, right, where their toes meet their foot there. And you cover their toes with your hand, hence toe hold. Around here, elbows in, and then you turn it to their butt and turn it up. Toe hold can still get hurt far away from them, but it's much more likely when their leg is bent. For all the twisting ones, heel hooks as well, when they're bent is when they get hurt more. Okay, so in, when people have you in this, even if you're taking their back and stuff, you can still get hurt here. So always be cautious. And then that said, if you're the guy on top doing these and you're fighting a white belt and he doesn't know to tap, just let go, give him your back. Nobody needs to get hurt. You know, that's not worth it just to save a match in practice. Okay, but we're gonna do the upside down toe hold. That is basically doing like an upside down guard, like an upside down closed guard. But with that said, you don't stay inverted, closing a guard around somebody for more than a millisecond. In fact, you never want to be straight upside down in these. Much of the goal is going to be, so you got on your base for me, just on your knees, and scoot back just a little bit. I think we're kind of edging out, but yeah. So this basic setup for these is a little bit easier with a gi on because you can do stuff like spider them and cross spider. But as I said, my goal is to close a guard around him here upside down. But you never want to be like this, especially flattened or even folded up. What you want is you want to try to get his weight to the side. Okay? And then when I wrap around him here, it's this leg down here that can get stuffed. If he held my leg, held this leg down, I'll never close my guard on him here. You see that? This leg in here. Okay, so I need freedom of this leg to come all the way around. At the same time, I want to pull his leg over me. All the way over. Okay? One of the useful things about the closed guard here is I can kick him onto his hands and his foot's going to come up a little more for me. Okay? Because I mean here, this is going to be smashed, especially a guy bigger than me like this is going to be smashing me, so I got to keep kicking down. His foot goes closer to his butt. I grab by his toes and here. He's going to keep on trying to extend his leg. You want to take both hands and focus on one and push it into your armpit. Wrap up, and it's right there. Okay? So again, if you go back to your base. Again, it's got to be across. And you don't want to be just straight upside down with the guy trying to close a guard on him. Okay? That's really dangerous. And you hurt your neck very easily. Your goal is to try to get him sideways a little more. And then you pull this leg over you. And again, focus on one leg. If you try to focus on both, horrible things like this can happen where he locks on you. And you're in this horrible position that your friends will never let you down about. So pull it into your armpit here. Focus on one. Kick forward with your hands. And here. Okay? This bottom finish is a little safer. There's the analogy to this is going to be the reverse mount. But this one's a little safer because it's hard for him to lock around me because the ground's in the way. Okay? So here. So again, the inverted closed guard, the analogy would be if I had a normal closed guard and I got a 6-point sweep, let's just say a hip bump or something, 6-point sweep, I'm in a mount. Okay, so closed guard in outer space is a mount. The reverse guard, okay, is going to be using the same ways to get them over. The sweeps are going to work the same. Let's say I pull out of space here and mount here. This is the reverse mount. Okay, so that's the opposite of the upside down closed guard. Okay, but this is a dangerous position for me. Here, let's turn. Can you put your feet here, your head this way? So if I get to these positions, these are more dangerous because if he wraps around me and kicks forward, he's got his toe holds. So this is a more precarious position. It can still be useful though. Okay, so let's go back a step. So some of my ways that I enter these, as I said before, these are like upside down closed guards. So some of the same moves from closed guard can work on these. Like I like this sweep here, where you take their foot here and fold it in and mount. You can try similar stuff like that with these. If you can grab here and kick him over, you can reverse mount this way. Okay? If I can get an X guard, so just, yeah, stand like that. If I can trip off an X guard here, okay, what I like to do is unwind it then to a reverse mount here. Okay, but as I said, if we look at my feet here, you either want your feet tight and tight there so he can't find them to toe hold. What I like to do is stand flat on my feet. Okay, it takes a little weight off the guy, but this is safer for the toe hold. Okay, and there's another trick I'll show you in a second. But because I don't like to get caught in here, what I like to do is hold his legs together as soon as I can. So he has no chance to re-grab around me. Okay? And then I like to triangle across, fall on that knee, and then triangle here. Now I can take my sweet time and get like an extended leg toe hold. Okay? The one on bottom will go in your armpit, so it's a little more bent. This is going to be more extended because you can't bend your leg as much. But this one, he has very few things to do back to me. Okay? That said, also with the reverse mount, let's scoot back this way just a little. To know some of these reverse mount finishes, what I like to do is sit here. What happens a lot of time, I'm just kind of lazily leaving this gap here, they think. What happens a lot is they dig their hand in there. Just like scoop your hand in. As soon as they get even just like fingertips in, I pick up their head, step back, and lock around here, and triangle over them backward. Now the basic is Kimura finish for this type of position. So again, let's turn this way just a little so you can. So when he puts his hand inside, I go straight to his head. So there's space for my leg to go under there. And a triangle there. The triangle's probably not going to choke him. It's pretty hard to do. You usually want to Kimura this hand. Okay, so that's why I recommend the lower belts in this position. And one more thing about the reverse mount. If I did a knee on belly normal, okay, you can take them out like this, or slap, mount. If you have the backward knee on belly, so if you came around here, and let's say I want to go for the leg locks, you never flip your foot this way. You give them a toe hold. You always want to do the around the world, and then hug their legs together so they can't grab you with their legs. Okay? So those are kind of the basics of the reverse mount and the upside down toe hold. Okay? Let me stop it, and you can try it. Yeah, you on bottom of a deep half guard. So next setup is going to be knee bar trap. I was trying knee bars for a while and having like no success. So it's useful to have these setups to increase your chances. Knee bar trap is going to utilize almost always when they are crossing incorrectly. So if I just go in your deep half guard, let me do, you want this leg in trouble, right? Yeah. So let's go here. So if he's locking that way, exactly, with this top leg over the foot, this is an opportunity for a knee bar trap. And if he's loose up here, if he's tight on this deep half guard, holding this leg, I'm never going to knee bar him. Because to knee bar him, I need to get all the way around his leg. Okay, my legs have to come all the way to here. So if I'm held up here, I'm never going to get that angle on it. Okay? Let's just talk theoretically for a second. When I'm in a half guard, I tend to want my knee out and him even turned away to pass or take the back or anything. This is usually advantageous for me. When I'm going for knee bar, I'm okay with my knee being a little deeper. Okay? But what I don't want is him tight up here. That's my opportunities when he's loose up here and cross-strong down here. So what I do is I prevent his defense first. Okay? Because let me jump to the knee bar normal. If I do normal knee bar here, I start to take this one away, he crosses. And I'm fighting two legs with my wimpy little arms. I'm not getting it. So, rewind, whoop. When I see his legs crossed wrong, I try to keep them crossed wrong. Okay? And quickly, before he realizes the hold there, jump over, and I lock over his defensive leg. Okay? You don't need to do a fancy triangle or anything. Just crossing your feet is good enough. Come to his heel. The heel should be straight through, like an arm, like the thumb of for an arm bar. Hip into it like an arm bar, basically. This one, very often in the gym especially, people realize they're stuck. They try to cross once, and they realize they're stuck, and they just tap. They just say, oh, checkmate, tap. So very rarely am I prying on people's legs for this. Usually they realize, I can't defend myself, I'm done. So be used to that too. So with that one, that's like from the deep half guard. Has to be a little lucky. Sometimes you can get it from just standing in their guard here. So if you just like lay back and have like more of like a half guard like this. Oh. Sometimes if I can see their leg here, I'll reach back to it. This is the one I'm going to knee bar. So I grab this defensive leg and I back step. But mind you, my knee out isn't good. So I take the defensive leg and pull it to me. So I get really deep around the leg I want. Okay, because if I'm off over here, this is extreme, but if I'm off this far, I'm not knee barring this very well. So this defensive leg is a tool as well to pull in really deep and go for the leg I want. Okay? Now, just one more variation on this that I use a lot is, is this. So if I'm in a half guard on bottom and he starts stacking my leg here. Yes. If this gets too far, if he starts getting around here, he's probably going to pass. But if early on this, I can hold his tricep and kick over his face here. This is like a sweep that you might have seen before. I take this leg here, I lift it, and I kick down. And I get kind of a sweep here. What I like to do, let's rewind just a second, is I like to kick him. I might start with this one, but as soon as he starts falling, I look for this other leg. Lock over it. And knee bar trap here. Okay, so let's look at that one more time. My leg inside, like a half guard. He starts stacking. I hold his tricep through here, and you lift, kind of like a flower sweep. As soon as he hits down, look for that other leg. Prevent his defense, and go for the knee bar trap here. Okay? Okay. So, as for doing heel hooks and all the dangerous ones, they're going to start with the single leg X or the Ashi Grami. And you really want to have a solid straight ankle lock first. One of the main things is being like a federation type fighter, doing the leg locks then, is a small differentiation. You can stand up for me. Is when we're doing the federation stuff, we tend to do single leg X. We tend to push people away and use this to block. For doing leg locks and that, you're going to want to be tight on them. You're going to be holding this leg in. My goal is to stay tight on your leg and keep your knee within my knee line. So just that term again, knee line is the line between my knees. Your knee has to be in it. If my knee line starts to slip out, now there's no heel hook or no ashi. Okay, so for these, we're gonna do this drill. The basic ashi drill is I pull myself in, and then I want to be in deep in my armpits. Usually it feels awkwardly deep at first. I'm going to jump up, heel, the so-called reaping leg, right, is going to go on your hip. This one, very commonly, people wrap around the same side leg. This is not as good because there's a big opening here. He can open this up and go right to a mount or something. So we're going to put this foot on the opposite butt, or as it says upper leg even. Okay, and try to cover my heel here. Okay, so here. So you're going to jump between the two. And do a feel like that. So we're going to go all the way through the straight ankle lock, and then you can try all these, okay? So the main goal here, again, is to hold here. And I'm not going to do any straight ankle lock or anything until I break you down to your hip, it's called, which is basically half sweep you, where you fall and I'm next to you. So one of the utilities of having this foot over here on this far leg is if I start hipping in here and turning, you'll take a couple little steps and then fall. Okay, let's go back just an inch. So this is when I have you broken onto your hip here. Another test for us is if you can try to pull yourself away on your hands, like scoot away. If I can just stay stuck on you here. That's like one of our goals with this. Okay, so just for our straight ankle lock finish, one of the ways I like is here. Now, I'm just going to go through the main points that changed my straight ankle lock. Here, when I'm sitting up like this, is no good. You want to tuck that elbow in. Okay? You probably all heard you don't want your back straight in the ground, so you extend it. But with that, I see people extend here like they're supposed to, but they're shrugging still. It's no, this part of your shoulder, this back of your shoulder here is what's prying on their foot. So you want to shrug back as you do these. Okay? Not curl it. Back here. And then it's always curl back. Sometimes you'll feel that you're not getting it because you're too high in their calf here. So it is best to be a little lower. Elbow in. Use the back of your shoulder. Okay. So that's just the finish there. Let's go back a step though. So if you look at all these type of moves, doing the ashi here from the drill, it's feet inside. Okay? That tends to feel a little weird to somebody who's used to normal jiu-jitsu, because you get afraid of them like jumping on your arm or something. Yeah. So we don't try to stay here for very long, or we're just gonna do like a little Marcelo Garcia push thing or something. But it's the inside position. Okay? The inside guards would be, if you go on your base, inside guards would be a butterfly, or if a foot up, an X guard, right? This is still an inside one, or a reverse X guard. Okay, these are inside moves. If I had a De La Riva, I just gave him the inside position. Okay, so when you're fighting for leg locks, we both want this inside. Okay, with that said, if you lay down for me and just have like an open guard, if you had inside here, what I would have to do is pummel in. Okay? Because if you're a leg lock guy, as soon as you get here, you're going to kick through and start putting me in the ashi. Okay? And then this is almost game over. So I can't let it get that far. So if he gets the inside, pummel, pummel. And now I have it. I can jump on his leg. Okay? But you don't always want to jump on their legs. Sometimes I want to just fight. So here. I like this pass in fighting for leg locks, is this smashing through pass, where you stand tall on this leg, keep this in your armpit, you're just trying to move it, smash through, toes tight here, knee tight there, this foot steps tall, but this can't get in your way. This has to go in your armpit, and then you can smash through very easily. Okay, so again, that pass is from the inside. But at the same time, if you sit back on it, this pass, my feet are in the perfect position for an ashi. Or if I'm struggling with the ashi, let's say we have gis on, and he pulls on my gi, I can just follow him back up into this pass. Okay, so this pass and the ashi kind of go together pretty well. Okay, let's try that. Okay. Okay, so for learning heel hook, I want to make sure that you're safely going the right way first to escape it, because you want to roll, but you want to roll with the pressure of the heel hook. Okay? Keep that in mind, because when we do a nicely set up heel hook, we're going to stop them from rolling away. And that's going to be like our main goal. So if I get you just standing, and I'll do the ashi on you again. Now, one of like the most simple, let's like face this way, let's like see that. One of the most basic ways to attack here is just people will reap over, your heel will be exposed, and they'll pry on your knee. And they'll pry on your heel hook here, okay? So again, it's just the same inside ashi. Let's get the term straight too. This is an inside ashi. When they hook it here, the heel gets exposed. Okay? So if you want to survive, your legs survive, you're going to have to quickly free your knee and roll with it. Okay, so now let's switch positions. And now you go down. So if you reap over, you start going here, I have to drop my weight, free my knee, and roll with the heel hook out. It can be useful at the end here to push away with your foot to try to fully release your knee. So again, let's do that again. It's on here, reaps over. Gotta free your knee, so my knee's coming out here. All right, I'm putting my weight back a little bit like I'm defending a single or kicking through a single. Roll with it and kick out. You don't want to roll against a heel hook. If your training partner rolls against a heel hook, just let go of it. All right. So with that said, that's going to be the right way to roll through. Let's go back down onto the ground now. So just, which leg is good? Let's flip around this way. So just flip the foot now. Just like me, so towards me.
Oh.
Yeah. So I have this foot, I'm doing a straight ankle lock, and I want to start reaping through. We're going to go from, here, let's go back just a little bit on if we can see. Okay. So here I'm inside like we started. What I eventually want to get to is having the heel hook in my hand and having my feet outside. Okay, this is going to be ideal to finish for an outside heel hook. Okay, so let's look at the heel hook. This is outside our bodies, so it's an outside heel hook. A good way to grab these is to pinch with your bicep here on this part of their foot. Okay? Mind you, you always want the knee inside. Okay? So there's going to be a whole cycle of how we go from inside to outside. That's going to be the one major cycle. The other major cycle is going to be going from this to here, to like a knee bar, to this, the honey hole or inside senkaku or 311, 411, I don't remember what they call it, but you know, you've heard of that position. So those are the two main cycles. So let's go through the first cycle. And it's going to rely on that the person is defending themselves somewhat correctly and rolling away. So if I'm here, my first step to getting all the way outside is I'm not just going to pull it out and put it here. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to threaten a heel hook, and when he rolls away, I'm going to slither my legs out and go to that outside heel hook, or that outside ashi, to finish my outside heel hook. So I have like a straight ankle lock here. What I'm going to do is start reaping his knee over. So I'm going to pull his knee over, Stay tight and stomp and reap. The whole point of this is to expose his heel. Once the heel comes off the ground, I can scoop it. You're not gonna put 2 hands on it yet. What you need to do is take your legs out, and if he doesn't roll, he's gonna get hurt here. It's gonna be over here. So this is all assuming he defends himself correctly. So if he starts rolling away, I take my legs out, and I have the outside now when we finish the roll, because I slithered out as we rolled. Okay? Sit up just a little bit for me so you can see. This is a move here called back heeling, where I hold in tight here and it keeps a nice folded angle on his leg. Now I can lock up for real here. And what I want to do is, I'm kind of loose here right now. I'm going to let go of his foot. What you want to do with your legs is pinch them down like this. So my legs are going this way. When I hold his leg here, I'm going to go chest up and out. So legs pressed down, he can feel here, I'm pinching hard on his upper leg, okay? Putting force that way. My chest is going to bring, and my arms bring his heel up this way, okay? If you're in this position, the heel is in their elbow pit, crook of their elbow, just tap, okay? This is game over, okay? That said, it's kind of hard to keep this all the time, to keep the heel hook in your hand. So we're going to make use of, sometimes if I'm stuck here with the ankle lock, the ankle lock isn't that good in this position. He can grab on my back really easy, and this is miserable. So I really want the heel hook here, not the straight ankle lock. Okay? I know it's a lot of information. That's why I filmed it. You can watch it again. So let's go back a little bit. So let me go back into that outside ashi. So we did that whole cycle. He rolled away, and I have him here. Okay, let's say I lost this somehow. The second cycle is going to be holding his knee in tight and coming to the reverse ashi, or the knee bar type position, and you just sit on him here. The main problem is that he can cross his feet. The knee bar trap tries to stop some of this. But if they do this, and we're doing heel hooks, I'm going to take both his legs together and sit off to the side. Okay, keep my knees tall and wedged inside, wedged. All right, here and here. And now you can go for the inside heel hook. Inside because it's inside our bodies here. Remember the last one was outside. This is an inside. And the inside is very easy to find. It's very easy to find that heel, for one thing. So it's kind of easy to find the finish. Also, I'm pretty sure it's a weaker ligaments in your leg are pried on in this, and it's more people get hurt here. So the inside heel hook is more dangerous. Okay? This is also a double trouble, they'll call it, because I can straight ankle lock. When I'm holding both legs, he can't stand up. Okay, so he's kind of stuck here. What you don't want to happen though is you never want to let them base into you and stack you here. So come onto your knee here. If this starts to happen, it's actually dangerous on my knee now. Okay, so again, you need to keep them on the ground. This can angle into them. Okay, still preserving that this knee is inside your knee line. Okay, here. It's very easy to find this angle or this heel. Okay, so that's a lot of information. Let's go through this one more time real quick. So here, so if I have the feet towards me, the first major cycle for the heel hooks was I expose, I reap, I expose the knee here. As he rolls away, I release my leg so I'm outside. If I don't have this heel hook in my hand, it's pretty tricky. And a lot of times I'll go to that second cycle. Okay, let's scoot back just a couple inches. So one more trick is here. The straight ankle lock is no good here. So what I'll do is I'll switch back to the reverse, to this, and not go all the way through to the honey hole. What you do instead is punch back at their heel, get a good heel grip, and fall back to the outside ashi and finish the heel hook there. Finish the outside heel hook. Okay, so that's a really good tool to readjust. Okay, so again, if I'm here, come back to the knee bar for a second, grab this, sit back down, and finish it there. Okay? All right, you try now. Okay, so let's just do a couple of the setups for the honey hole, or the inside sankaku. Basically all of them, not all of them, but most of the setups are going to look like flying scissors, but in different ways. There's this one here that if you're just in an open guard, the very basic one that people will do is they'll get inside position, start pulling on this leg. If there's any room here, they step back and honey hole on the other side. Okay, that's a very popular setup for these. So with that said, if you're like used to federation rules, you daily heave with somebody and they're looking at like a deep daily heave and they're looking to do leg locks, they very easily step back into this and start doing the honey hole on you. But if you think about it, it's really a flying scissor from on top. Okay? My legs across and I'm jumping this in. Okay? If I get you on, just stand up for me all the way. Another major one that people use is that they'll do reverse X guards. So if I have a normal X guard here, a normal X guard would be when my foot from behind is on top. Okay? If I trip off this, he'll fall to his butt. If I do reverse X guard, the foot from behind is on bottom. If I trip from here, he'll fall to his hands. Okay, that's one way to tell the difference. The reverse X guard is what you're going to use to set up leg locks. And it's almost always if he's hugging down here or something, what I want to do is guide him here and then take his leg through the slot here and bring him down here. Okay, that's a fancy one, but it's a standard. So again, let me show you one more time. Let's do like this angle. So I'm wrapping normal X guard. Let's say he falls on his hands or is holding close here. I reverse X guard, and then you don't just lift here, you take him through the side here, all the while guiding him here. Okay? Again, I'm not perfect at that one, but there's just the basics of that one. And it's a popular move that's out there, so get used to that one. But again, it's kind of like a flying scissor in a way. Okay? There's other ones where people will elevate and then guide and do like a flying scissor sweep. That one's kind of dangerous to me, so I don't really do that one too much. Yeah, with that said, a couple of the other setups I have that use this whole like straight ankle lock in the Ashi system is this. If you have you on your base, I do this setup sometimes where I want to do an ankle lock on him. But what I do first is I thread him like I'm doing a Kimura. If I can get him to step onto that foot to defend the Kimura, because we know when he doesn't want this to go behind his back, so he steps over it. Now I switch gears, pull in to the Ashi here. Okay? With that said too, if you want to stand up for me, the Ashi and the Kimura can connect here. Sometimes he'll start pushing on my foot really hard here. And I'll resist. When I give way, I'll grab the Kimura there. That one I've worked as well. So sometimes I find these Kimuras can connect with the Ashi. That's enough for that one. Let's do one more position on the heel hook. Let's do for the 50-50. So let's do this way. So we'll go this way. So 50-50. For heel hook purposes, you always want to be down. When my hips turn to the floor, his heel gets exposed. If he turned his hips to the floor, my heel gets exposed. Okay, you can grab that. pretty easily there. Okay, so 50-50 is a heel hook position straight up. It's not in that whole John Danaher Ashi system. It's kind of on a separate piece there. But if you get this honey hole here, I mean, excuse me, this 50-50, hips down, and you find the easy heel hook. Okay? Another thing, just for federation type fighters, sometimes you see this escape from 50-50 is they'll push the guy down and flip your foot to the other side. I'm straightening the outside heel hook. So you go this way and heel hook me that way, yep. So flipping your foot over, let me do it on this side just so you can see. Flipping this foot here, unless you are smashing the hell out of them and hiding this foot back, this is a huge gamble that they can get that outside heel hook if they know how. And remember, knees down, yeah. Okay? And then just one more little note. Remember all the positions that are inside, like butterfly guard is an inside guard versus De La Riva would be an outside, which you don't really do because you're giving them the inside position. There's some throws in that too where they rely on inside position. If I stand up. So people that find leg locks a lot like a lot of these underhook type moves, like Uchigari, because if you land, I'm inside. Okay? Uchimata, if we land, I'll be inside when we land. So those kind of lend themselves to a leg lock type game too. So.